Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip,
And I'm CJ.
and it is Monday in the Rev. And hi, Gene. You're the first one in the queue. Um, uh, let's start off with the local news of the home invasion. Uh, hey, James. Uh, Home invasion, and I got some info on them. I just checked my phone for my local news apps. So we got some man accused of attacking, accused. Yeah, well, yeah. A homeowner with a knife. Florida police said Monday that a 28-year-old man barged into a home, stabbed the homeowner multiple times. Police said Gaetan Jean Louis. I'm guessing he's probably an illegal Haitian. Hey, Fatima, I'm guessing, but this is what got in Fall River. This is what's taken off the market rate housing. Gaetan Jean Louis. So I don't know too many Haitians. A lot of French names in Haiti. So it looks like he's an illegal Haitian. I'm guessing, but I'm not gonna. I'm alleging that. I'm alleging it, but I'm taking a wild guess. I don't know why anybody would be here with that name unless they're here on the public dole. He walked into the Laurel Street home. Why does anybody keep their doors open? Really? Uninvited Saturday night, was confronted by the homeowner who asked him he was in a wrong house and needed help. He then attacked the home. Then he attacked the homeowner with a knife. The victim was stabbed multiple times, police said. Family members witnessed the assault, attempted to intervene, and briefly restrained Jean Louis before he fled the residence. You like the way I pronounce that, I think. So that's from watching movies. Police captured Jean Louis not far away with a pocket knife. And here we go. They already got an excuse. He's an illegal or something. Mental health issues are being evaluated. I don't care what kind of issues. You don't walk into people's house and stab them. That's the problem, police said. They said the homeowner was taken to a trauma center with life-threatening injuries. Jean-Louis was charged with home invasion and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. How about attempted murder? Do you normally stab somebody multiple times and it's not attempted murder? I guess if you're an illegal or something like that, it's not attempted murder. Why don't they throw attempted murder on there? I don't know. This is nuts. I mean, this is what you got in this state. It's crazy. And so at least we got the details. Channel 10 News got a pretty good little article about it already. But they'll let him out. They'll put him in a nut house. He'll be out like the guy that stabbed Flanagan.
The guy who stabbed Flanagan's still not out. He's still being held at Bridgewater State Hospital.
Yeah, but then he went back to Bridgewater, but they let him out at first, I think. Yeah, but then they put him in a nut house. But you know what happens up there. They're going to let him out ultimately because you'll be out on the street again. Look at a guy that had 100. She had 100 arrests and she was out.
Yes, I did. It requires a 72-hour notice to employees of a business that is subject to an I-9 audit or investigation. So
that's against the Constitution. That's aiding and abetting. That you can't give information to tip off raids by a federal by federal agents. Yet leave it to. But listen, let me. I'm glad you brought up Massachusetts because I just happened to be channel surfing last night after the football game, the late football game, which was really like there were some pretty good football games last night. The Bills handed it to the Patriots, but I can't believe that coach didn't kick the field goal, tie the game, and try to go into overtime. But no, he tried to win the game and he lost, and they lost. So they lost the division title. But I don't know if any of you guys ever watch the um, Cheryl Atkinson the show she does.
Yes.
The
10, 11 o'clock Sundays.
was on 11 o'clock. I got to try to get the replay of it because I missed the beginning of it. But did she tear Massachusetts? Good evening. Yeah, happy New Year, Josh. Welcome aboard. Well, if you guys get a chance to go see that last night Saturday's program, Sunday's program. I'm sorry, of Cheryl Atkinson.
Full Measure.
Full Measure, yeah, that's what it's called. Full Measure. She's done some real good shows, but she eviscerated Massachusetts. So you're gonna love that show. She had the auditor that demanded an audit of Massachusetts, and that she threw everybody under the bus. She said there's billions of dollars worth of fraud. Then they had the Speaker of the House, and you know what that bozo Democrat said? Oh, we don't have to. I'm not going to have somebody from another branch of government telling me what to do. No, she's not telling you what to do. The voters, over 70%, 76, I think, but over 70% of the voters said they wanted an audit. And the Constitution says that you're answerable to us. But you know what? And you know what Atkinson said? She killed them. She said, it seems like the politicians in Massachusetts don't care about the voters. Over 70%, she's 76 or whatever, 76% of the voters said they wanted it, and they're basically telling you no. And to help this loser attorney, the Speaker of the House, the Attorney General is trying to block the audit. So everybody in the state is trying to block the audit because they said they talked about no bid contracts, sweetheart deals. They talked about it was a great show. But you know, I'm glad we got all our regulars on. You guys can give me your opinion. Explain to me. After
what's
watching
interesting
that show,
is Mike Rodrigues made a comment.
Quoting,
Michael Rodrigues made a comment saying that it is unconstitutional for DeZoglio to audit the state Senate or the state House, the General Court, because of the Separation of Powers Act.
That's bullshit. That's
I'm
bullshit.
just telling you what they're
So the people, yeah, but it's not her. The people gave her permission, and the Constitution says this. So let me ask you this question, because this is the thing that always boggles my mind. Like elections here, but CJ kicked the shit out of Fall River voters in a flush today. Told them about. I got to read that section. It was great. But let me tell you something.
And remember,
that's right. But we always talk about Fall River voters, but it's all the voters in Massachusetts. Listen, 76% or over 70%. I don't want Coogan to call me and say it was 70.
I think it was 72%.
Or 72% or whatever.
Yeah.
Over 70%. Over 70%, that's 7 out of 10. Wanted an audit. Somebody explain to me why we still all have they all re-elect Democrats. They're going to over 72%. 7 out of 10 voters just said they think these people are crooks. We've confirmed it with the auditor. She said they're sure there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. And now they're trying to play, oh, it's unconstitutional. You know what's unconstitutional? Disobeying the Constitution, Mike. Says you're answerable to the people. The people want an audit. They said they want an audit. You can be audited. I'm sorry, you're full of shit. Explain to me why we can't elect Republicans or conservatives or independents. Why do we have 99% Democrats in the entire state government? They're all Democrats. And nobody comes close to unseating him except once in a while, maybe for governor. Somebody explained to me how 70% of the people can say they're crooks, but then they'll vote him in. I just can't, I don't get it. Yeah, no, you're right, Scott. Yeah, he comes up with some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of, and he just makes it up, and he thinks people don't check, but guys like us do. And remember, he did find his way to New Hampshire right after he passed the tax on alcohol to buy liquor. I didn't forget that one, Mike, by the way. I also got the article where you were the second or third highest for getting stipends. I think maybe you might be number one or two now, since now that you're the chairman of the Ways and Means. He can say anything he wants. He's the second most powerful person in the state behind it. And I think actually Ways and Means is more powerful than the president of the Senate.
It's scary, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But look, how many times have they done this, CJ? How many times? We told them we wanted to elect judges. They said no.
No.
We told them we wanted the sales tax reduced. They said, I don't give a shit what you want.
That's right. They
ignored it. And now we told them we want to catch you assholes blowing all our money. We want to see where the sweetheart deals are, like in Fall River. We want to see where all the jobs are going and where the no-bid contracts are going. Kind of like the ones that Kenny Pacheco gave out. Remember, and he got caught with a no-bid. Oh, well, it was an emergency. No, it isn't. The emergency never goes away. These people are crazy, but what I don't understand is if that thing would have won by 51%, you'd say, well, you can see why Democrats get in. But when 72 or 70% of the people, 7 out of 10 people say, we think you're crooks. That's what they're saying when they voted for that audit.
That's right.
Look at the books. And they
they voted them back in. That's the worst part about it. They voted them back in.
That's what, this is why I lost all my hair worrying about trying to answer that question. I lost all my hair.
That's right.
That's
not crazy.
Oh, good. No, you're right, Jay. Nobody can hide. Great point. I mean, look, we can't get anything done in Fall River because Fall River probably right now under the Coogan administration is the most corrupt city in the state now, and it's the most corrupt administration I've ever seen. You can't get anything done. Yeah, Minnesota, you're right, Josh. Massachusetts might be worse. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is he's got so much money now and so much power. He's done so many favors. And he's from Westport. So he's going to get 99% of the Westport vote, 99% of all the politicians' votes. Unfortunately, it's virtually impossible. That's right. Well, look at what happened. But no matter what they do, Gene, we never throw them out. I'm not us. I'm saying we. I'm being rhetorical. The voters, because we do. We go out and vote. But remember when they gave themselves a giant pay raise on the Halloween massacre? Yeah. And they bounced a bunch of reps out after that because they voted. So what did they do? They changed the law.
That's right.
Now we don't have to approve their vote. They can give themselves anything they want. We want them to be audited. Oh, fuck you. We're not having an audit. You're not going to look at our books. We can tax the shit out of you, but you can't look at our books. Mike says you can't do that. It's unconstitutional. Oh, no, it isn't. You want to talk about the Constitution, Mike? Read part of the first Article 5. We said we want an audit, and it says no matter how powerful you are up there, you're answerable to us. We're supposed to be a government, but in Massachusetts, they've taken the government away from us. Why don't these 7 out of 10 people vote them all out? Every single one of them. I don't care who runs.
Because they wouldn't get their patronage. They wouldn't get their potholes. They wouldn't get their dinners. They wouldn't get their chow mein sandwiches. They wouldn't get anything. Not without their friends. They want to coat the lily.
Well, you're right, CJ. I'm being rhetorical.
Oh, I know. But that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why I wrote what I wrote in the Weekend Flush.
Oh, I know. And I think
every year, like clockwork, I say this is it.
Well, I'm going to read what that one part, because CJ's getting so frustrated now. I'm not going to read the first quote because it's by Oprah. I don't do Oprah quotes. I'm sorry. That woman is he started with the city council end of the year with a big FU to the people of Fall River.
Yes, they did.
The removes restrictions and blah. Then you go on about talking about our 17 years, and your 17 is a commentator about issues and stuff. Then he hits you. He's had it. My insane dedication to the city of Fall River, my psychopathic love of the people has proven to be a fruitless escapade. The people of Fall River do not care. They're apathetic. They're obtuse. People complain, and they never vote, blah, blah, blah. But you're right, CJ. It's frustrating as hell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. No, you're right. You're right, James. You're right. I mean, look at these, but they keep getting in. We got 11,000 people to the polls. Where are these people? Where are they? They're complaining in the coffee shops. Every time you see one of these people, you should just verbally abuse them by saying something. It's your fault. Shut up, you moron. Did you vote? Well, you and your whole family, if we throw these people out every election and say the only way you get to stay in one of those seats is if you work for us, they might start paying attention. But as long as we have a state like this, which right from the top, Massachusetts is the poster child, 99% Democrat for everything. I mean, we're gerrymandered so bad, there's not one district in the same state that has a Republican majority of voters. We invented gerrymandering and we perfected it.
That's right.
It's impossible virtually to get anybody in. And these bozos are now, they never get enough. How many times do they have to tell you, F you?
In the Weekend Flush, I kind of equated us to Star Wars, as you notice. I said, in Star Wars, this isn't Star Wars' New Hope, because Fall River doesn't have any hope. Okay? One of my readers, who going by the name The Borg, Resistance is Futile, you're right. This is not Star Wars. But in Fall River, the Star Wars bar, it might be.
It's like a bad dream. It's almost like, what the Stockholm Syndrome is? The Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological disorder that people get attached to their captors because every once in a while they throw them a little bone. And this is what happens with the voters in Massachusetts. How? After all the crap, we can go back years of saying what these Democrats have done to the people. Yeah, but they don't campaign, Nelson. They don't ever show up. They won't run. I mean, people are going to get pissed off, and it's not the people like us. It's the young people that got to get out there and get back in the game. They got to get back in this game because they're killing us statewide. They're killing us.
You know, I ran for office several times for city council, for school committee, and for state representative. Okay? My campaign for state representative, I spoke on the issues, was clear on some solutions. And everyone said, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. But where the hell were they to vote?
I
Where
know,
were they to
and
vote?
that's the problem. They gave them the gut. Look, your opponent gave them more chow mein sandwiches.
That's right. That's exactly what it was. Because when I gave them chicken dinners, my vote count went up. My vote count went up. So don't tell me that people aren't out there for the meals, because they are. And as a matter of fact, when I was giving away chicken dinners, people would show up just to take extras to take home with them. Cheap bastards.
Yeah,
That's
I remember when you
cheap
ran.
bastards.
I think you and I had a conversation. That's when we first met, when you were running
That's
for
right.
state rep at some function I was at, and we met there. And but the thing is that it's like, it's so bizarre, because you talk to people and they go, I'm fed up with this, and you go back and you start talking about all the things they've done. How many times do they have to tell you you don't matter? Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, well, you know who is the governor? But
James, not only did I run against Kevin Aguirre, I ran against during city council and school committee runs. And let me tell you something. They were the same way. They were the same way.
It's Stockholm syndrome. They fall in love with their captors. They give them a street light, and then they screw them for taxes and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they're killing us. You look what the Somalis are doing up in Minnesota. They're doing it right. Our government, you know that they're giving out no bid contracts. You know that they're stealing money. You look at how rich all these people have gotten. When Ilhan Omar came to this country, she was worth about $2,000. Now she's worth 500 and some million. So, I mean, this is nuts. That, you can't, but it's got to be the people. There are a lot of pissed off people, but all they do is sit home and bitch. They don't go to poll. And that's the ironic. It's like, how difficult is it to get off your ass for an hour? And most of these people who are campaigning will give you a ride. We need more people to run. It's that simple. And we need to get more people out. I mean, we've talked about it, but I mean, this is an outrage. It's an outrage.
The problem is when people look at the history of our elections, they see the same shit.
Yeah.
The same people keep getting elected who keep doing nothing but raising your taxes and take. And they get elected because they do favors, like a street lamp, like a chow mein sandwich, like a pothole.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about the fact that some of them are getting their yards taken care of on the city dime, or their decks replaced, or their pools being put in. They don't talk about that.
I mean, this is one of the biggest slaps in the face I've ever seen to show you how bad it's gotten now. That when we have the state and our law enforcement officials, like the Attorney General, trying to block and looking for every angle to block an audit. And then you have the national news. You have a national media personality basically kicking the shit out of this state and the politicians, and then the auditor giving it examples of what she believes is going on. on the national news. This state is a laughingstock. The only place worse than this is California. And that's saying something. And we're getting close.
And people don't laugh at California.
Yeah.
They just write them off.
That's right. You're right, Cal. And they're starting to write Massachusetts off now.
That's right.
Because, when
why is it that during a presidential election, we never get a presidential candidate here? Why?
Because
we're a blue state.
That's right. Nobody cares.
Before the polls even close, if you ever look at the national results on a presidential election, Massachusetts and Rhode Island are already given over to the Democrats. They don't even talk about it. That means your vote doesn't matter.
Just tried to see if I could pull up that show. But when you get a national media person like Cheryl Atkinson in Full Measure, last night, try to get that. It was on last night. Try to get that and look at that thing. It's horrifying. Look, New York, California is ridiculous. They've spent $18 billion on a train. 17 years and $18 billion. They haven't laid 1 foot of track. Think about that. $18 billion, 17 years after they spent $18 billion, not a foot of track. San Francisco, on national TV in front of Congress, they were asked what happened to $24 million for the homeless. The people who ran the program, not one of them had an answer. Nobody knew where the money went. It was all gone, and they said, well, where did it go? Well, we don't know. Well, why don't you know? Well, we don't know. It's just not there anymore. Well, who did it go to? Well, we're not sure. We got to do an investigation. $24 million in a shitter. This is what you got for government in democratic states. There's no accountability, and there's less and less. And they're becoming more and more greedy and more powerful. Why? Because the people let them. Blue states let them. You kidding? They're always on junkets. How many times did they go to Portugal?
And they have no authority over international affairs.
I know, but they go to Portugal anyway.
That's right.
And they go all over the place. Of course they do. That's your tax dollars at work, everybody.
That's right.
But tell your friends. Oh, where's Alan? Oh, he's over in Portugal. What's he doing? Oh, he's figuring out how the Portuguese make chorizo over there. If it's different than when we make it over here, maybe he's going to come back. I mean, this is insane. This is insanity, people. I mean, I'm telling you, like I said, this incident right here. Why don't the 70% of the people all get together, throw some money in a pot, and sue their ass and take them to the Supreme Court? They'll win. I don't give a shit. What Mike Roderick says. He wants to talk about the Constitution, but he's going to contradict the Constitution. Oh, they don't have the right. We're a separate branch of government. What does part of the 5 say? I'm gonna quote it verbatim, but I can paraphrase it right now. It says, everybody, all members of our government, doesn't just say they're not answerable to each other, they're answerable to the people, and the people wanted this audit. So I'm gonna look. Let's see. Massachusetts Constitution. Okay, here we go. My CJ and I's favorite part of the first. A declaration of the rights of the inhabitants, that's us, by the way, inhabitants, the people, of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And remember, this Constitution was there before the United States Constitution. Article 1 tells us that we're all born free and equal and have certain unalienable rights, blah, 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 which they copied. Now we get to, we'll do Article 4. We don't do that as often, but this is the precursor to Article 5. The people of this Commonwealth have the sole and exclusive right of governing themselves as a free, sovereign, and independent state, and do, and forever hereafter, shall exercise and enjoy every power, jurisdiction, and right which is not or may not hereinafter be by them expressly delegated to the United States of America in Congress assembled. Now, Article 5. All power, all, not Mike Roderick's and his interpretation. So, Mike, read the friggin' Constitution. You swear an oath to it every time you get sworn in. Maybe you should read the damn thing once in a while. All power residing originally in a people and being derived from them, they get their power from us. The several magistrates and officers of government vested with authority, whether legislative, executive, or judicial. That's all three branches, Mike. All three. And you know what it just said? All three of the branches are their substitutes and agents and are at all times answerable to them. That's what it said, Mike. That's what it says. Judicial. Don't give me the shit. One branch can't tell the other branch what to do. Yeah, that might have worked when she said it, but once the people spoke, it was over. Case closed. All right, where's the 70% in Massachusetts? Let's start a GoFundMe page. Let's raise $1 million throughout Massachusetts, and let's take these assholes to court, to the Supreme Judicial Court. I want to see Mike Roderick get up in front of the Supreme Court of the United States and say that that Constitution isn't clear. And I can read. So read it. I'm not paraphrasing. That is verbatim what's in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. These politicians they're all bullshit artists. They're going to tell you what the law says. They're going to tell you. They never wrote a law that they couldn't read correctly. That they could read correctly. I apologize. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. And they're getting more and more powerful because they're taking more. I love it when the Democrats talk about Republicans and Trump. Oh, he's a fascist. He's taking all our power away. Who's taking the power away? Massachusetts. The Democrats. They call us, it's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Stop with the democracy shit anyway. But the thing is, they take the power away. The Democrats want to take the power away. What power is he taking away? He's enforcing the Constitution. They don't want that. They want all their pet projects, condoms in Bangladesh, drag shows and something else. Now look at it. Now they got a socialist in New York. Good. He just elected or just appointed a new fire chief. The largest fire department in the United States is now run by a lesbian with no fire experience. And not that I have any problem with her being a lesbian or him being a lesbian or whatever the pronoun is. I don't give a shit. But the person's never been a firefighter. He's gonna be in charge of the largest fire department in the United States of America. In the most populated city in the United States of America. Like those two DEI lesbian fire chiefs in LA when they had the fires, and one of them said, hey, you get trapped in a building, you're dead. I can't go in there and get you. I wouldn't be able to rescue you. It's your fault for getting trapped. Well, that's what a firefighter's job is. This person was hired strictly because, and I'm not going to use a pronoun because I have no idea what the hell pronouns they use. That person is not qualified. And this is what Democrats bring to the table.
Scott, I have to respond to this. The reason why we've got free buses is not because of Mike Rodrigues or Alan Sylvia. The reason we have free buses is because of the millionaire tax that the voters passed as a constitutional amendment to tax people who have $1 million or more 4%. And that money can only go to transportation or education. And this is how the city taxpayer gets screwed again, because if they get that money from that millionaire tax, we've got to meet it with net school spending.
Yeah.
So we'll give you another $1 million.
So we'll lose more money.
So we'll lose more money.
We actually lose money. That's right. And listen, Scott, don't ever give a politician credit for giving you anything, because they don't.
I know it was sarcasm, Scott.
Yeah. You know, it was like, well, that's the problem. That's the problem. You get people, he never had a job. His parents are loaded. He thinks socialism works. They're crazy. I mean, that's the problem with these people. And that's what Democrats are going. Listen, I remember a time where I was probably closer to most Democratic platforms than I was to the Republican platforms. But they've gone so far to the left that they're lunatics. They're absolute lunatics. They're on
always
every
lunatics.
20%, 15% issue on the wrong side. I mean, they're crazy. You know, the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy is gone. Long gone. Yeah. But I mean, the Democratic Party, and that's why I'm an independent. I don't agree with any party totally. I mean, I'm a fiscal conservative, which made me more of a Republican on that. But I'm a moderate on most things, but I'm also a pretty liberal person about programs. I believe that people who can't, don't get me wrong about welfare. There's a lot of people abusing welfare. But I think people who deserve welfare, we should have a welfare system in this country. It's rich enough to give people who can't help themselves the help they need. It's the richest country in the world. Just like I believe that every veteran should not be sleeping in a street. Our representatives don't believe that. They voted against a preference for housing for veterans, and they voted for illegal money, for illegals to get freebies. I'm a liberal when it comes to that. I'm a conservative about borders. I think the United States should have sovereign borders, but I'm a liberal. I was always a liberal as far as programs. I think that everybody, if you're physically or mentally handicapped, I think we have a moral obligation to help. And I think we have a moral obligation and an ethical obligation and a patriotic obligation to our veterans that this country shits all over. I'm sorry. That's why I don't belong to veterans organizations. They're all political, and they all end up fighting over turf, and I'd never be part of that. And there's nobody that advocates more for veterans than I do. And I think that the care they get is subpar. The fact that we have a veteran killing himself every 22 minutes is nuts. Now, you're right, James. They did. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even classify them. I just say independent. I would say probably, like I said, it depends on the issue. I'm center left. I'd probably say left social issues fiscally are more center right. But I think it's a common sense position. Both of these parties are way out of bounds. But every party goes through that cycle. Remember when we had what's his name, Barry Goldwater?
Yep.
The Republican Party went so far right, they went off the cliff, and they were out of office for I don't know how many years, and then they had to come back towards center. And that's what's going to happen to the Democratic Party ultimately. They're not going to win. They're going to win local elections because you get a city like New York that's full of people looking for handouts. They're going to elect somebody like Mondami, and now after he wrecks the city, they'll all be screaming again for another guy that's going to come in and rein in the fund. Listen, James, if they cut out the spending, I bet you if they did this audit and they found out all the waste, that's why they don't want it, I'll bet you they could eliminate the sales tax in Massachusetts, and we wouldn't have a sales tax, or maybe even an income tax like New Hampshire.
I can tell you where a lot of it's going, okay? Thousands upon millions of dollars going into these feel-good programs, like $25 million for youth employment training. The money doesn't go to the youth. The money goes to the people running the programs. That's like BCTC. And keeping their political patronage people employed. That's all that is.
Well, you're right.
I remember in the 70s, early 80s, okay, where in the summer you would go out and get a job with CETA. What did CETA stand for? The Comprehensive Employment and Training Act. And let me tell you something. Every teacher in Fall River just about took part in that. Because even though they weren't paying into the retirement system, their money could count towards their retirement. Because I saw teacher after teacher after teacher, when they were filing for their retirement, getting all the paperwork proving their CETA employment.
No, you're right, C.J. James just made a good point. It's figuring out where the money, but no, that's the problem. We all know that the money's not going into the right places.
That's right.
But now it shows you that the people that this state elects will not allow you to find that money. Look what they did to Trump when he started Doge.
Let me give you another little one, okay? This is where money's going. You have patients who have been thrown out of methadone programs next to their home. They've been thrown out of methadone programs close to their home. So now the state pays for a cab to drive them from Jamaica Plain to Fall River to get their methadone. And if they get kicked out of the Fall River program, they'll send them to New Bedford.
Yeah, when I get thrown out of New Bedford, they'll send them somewhere else.
That's right. And this is what happens. This is what happens. This is what you call a waste of money. Guess what? I don't have a problem with helping people who want help. Okay? But you know what? 3 strikes and you're out. 3 strikes and you're out. It's obvious you don't want help. And it's obvious that you're not trying to get any. And you just want to keep bucking the system so you can keep your check coming in. 3 strikes and you're out. No more checks, no more nothing.
But you know who to blame? You know who's to blame, James? The voters of Massachusetts.
That's right.
Voting these liberals in, and they don't care what they do to us. And now, like I said, they're taking all our rights away. City of Fall River's taking your right away to control their spending. The state tells you can't even look at what we're spending.
That's right.
Everybody knows we're misspending money. They're misspending it
I agree. I agree with you, James. And let me tell you something. How about now? Just for an emergency, we're going to open the shelter conference room for you to come in and watch movies and have food all day long, all night long to stay warm. But at 8 o'clock in the morning, get the F out.
Well, let me tell you something. You're right about that, but let's look at the evolution of everything the government does. You remember, maybe probably you don't remember, but CJ and I remember. I remember back in the 70s, the war on drugs.
Oh, I remember that.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. They got an egg in a frying pan. They started all these things. Don't get busted in a foreign country. All these programs to eliminate drug addiction. Then they found out how much money there was in the drug addiction industry. Then they started the methadone. Wasn't methadone going to be the cure of heroin?
Yes, it was.
Then they found out it wasn't, but they still got methadone.
Right.
So now the junkies take methadone and heroin. And now they gave up on helping the drug addicts. And they let them sleep in the street and shoot up and give the money to illegals. And this is the way the government progresses. They start to fix something, then they never fix it, then they give up trying to fix it, and then they make money off all the programs they created to fix it.
That's right.
This is the way it works.
And how about the latest endeavor? We're going to open up safe injection sites. We're going to hire a nurse and EMS to be there to watch you shoot up your heroin, to make sure that if you overdose, we're there to help you out and give you some Narcan.
So now they're going to keep driving up our health.
And that's costing you, the taxpayer.
Listen, there's got to be a shelf life on how many times, like I said, they don't want to fix anything. I can see somebody wants help. You send them to a center. You get some really good programs. But after they've been there 3 times, you got to say, it's time to either put them in a facility long term, you got to end it, because, like you said, you look at the way these programs, they degenerate. They're going to fix something, then they give up on fixing it, but then they're making money off all the other supplementary programs they stick in. And what happens now? Now they're going to give them drugs. They're going to give them needles. They're going to give them a place to shoot up. They're going to have Narcan to keep them alive so they can keep shooting up for years. And why should they ever get cured? They can OD all they want, because they're gonna bring them back. I mean, this is crazy. You go to other countries, they don't do this shit. Only America. And yeah, you're right, Gene. Well said. The great enablers. That's exactly what they are.
That's right, they are.
They need people who can look at the cold, hard facts and know that people have to be, they have to follow what they have to follow. Gene's an expert at in that field. He knows what it takes. And, this shit of just giving them everything for free. And like I said, and the irony is, this started on, like the government says everything. We're going to stop drugs. Look at it now. They don't even try. They're going to give them drugs. Look at California, $18 billion on a train. 17 years later, not 1 foot of track. Our boy Gavin told them we're going to have a bullet train from one end of California to the other. The frickin' thing, $18 billion later, the thing's still, it's still in the planning phase.
About to whoop your ass. Stop it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, that's what happens to everything in government. They take care of their own and they wreck it for everybody. Listen, I think people in public safety should get a disability retirement. I'm on the board. I've approved a lot of 72%. Let me make this clear. That 72% is tax free. So it's really more than 72%. That's 72% tax free. And you know what bothers me about her? She's taking care of her state policeman, and they're going to grab it. So one guy gets a bad back, he's going to get 100% of his pay. You know what that was reserved to at one time? Talk about the way things start off with. They give you this delusion of grandeur. We're doing this for the veterans. We're doing this for the people that we want to cure them of drug addiction. And all of a sudden it becomes a golden parachute for the state. They're making millions of money. You know who gets 100% of their pay? Somebody who dies in the line of duty. Their family gets 100% of their pay for the rest of the time that they would have been on a job, and all the pay raises. They deserve that. They died on the line of duty. Now they're going to give somebody who's going to say, oh, shit, why should I take 80%? Oh, my back. Oh, God. That's it. Give me 100%. You know, listen, there's nothing I hate worse than giving somebody a pension I know they don't deserve. And there's nothing I like better than giving somebody a pension that they do deserve. And we've seen that happen too often. Oh, yeah, the Contras. Oh, I remember that one. Ollie North. I remember that very well. I actually got a letter asking me if I wanted to reactivate during that era. So, but this is what happens. You know, we see the thing deteriorate. 100% any disability.
Hello?
So that means
Hello?
if you hurt your ankle and you can't be a statey anymore, you're going to get 100%.
Mr. CJ. Yes, I am. 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was like the guy that they caught one of those in Massachusetts who's on a disability, and he was training for a bodybuilding contest, like Mr. Massachusetts or some shit. But he was off with a bad back. You know, I mean, this is what you do when you got a government like we got. You keep the Democrats in power. This is all you get. You'll never see, though, they hate anybody looking at them. That's why they went nuts when Musk started Doge. Now Massachusetts is going nuts because the taxpayers want them to be audited. Nobody wants to. They're going to fight that, and they're going to win because nobody will. Let's, like I said, let's somebody that pushed that somebody call that auditor and tell them. Let's start a GoFundMe page. Let's get that 70% of the population to throw in $50 a piece or $25 a piece. Let's hire a lawyer. Let's go to the Supreme Court of the United States. I'll tell them I just read you what the Constitution says. It says that all three branches of government are answerable to us. We want the audit, not the auditor anymore. We said we want it, 72%. That audit,
if they gave $10 a head,
that's right.
You'd have more than enough money. So I did bring that to her attention.
Yeah, I agree
and
with you.
I did tell her that question would get lost in the ballot questions and probably would never get voted upon.
Yep. And you know something, CJ? I believe that's worth $65,000. Let's have a special election just on that. It's our government.
I agree.
Three marathons in 3. Holy shit.
So, well, I want to thank you all for watching. Wednesday's show will be at 11 a.m. because of the holiday, New Year's Eve. You know, we want to give you our wishes for the new year and our demise from the previous year. But we'll be at 11 a.m. And then after you get off the show with us, you can go out and get drunk because just our show alone will probably make you drunk. Once again, I want to thank you for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable.
I
We'll
want
see you on Wednesday. Have a great day.